Well, hello, Mrs. Martin.
Hi.
Well, thank you for coming in to meet with me. What are some of your concerns?
Well, some of my concerns with Andy, who's my son, and he's 6 years old, is that he was diagnosed with ADHD. And some other issues I have is that he gets frustrated when he can't complete his work. He throws a temper tantrum. And he's always sent home from school. And he gets anxiety when he goes to class. He doesn't want to do things wrong, but then sometimes he hits the other children. And he tries to complete his work, but sometimes he daydreams and then he gets frustrated, which in turn frustrates the teacher.
Well, that sounds like a lot.
Yes, it frustrates me sometimes too.
I'm sorry to know that. But it's understandable how it can be frustrating.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the things you have already started doing. Like, what are some things you've done?
Well, I tried to give him some techniques that he can use in his class. I gave the teacher information on things maybe she could use in class. And then also in the parent-teacher conference
Okay.
to discuss the issues.
Well, that's good. At least, you're being proactive.
Yes, I want my son to have a good education and be successful.
Which almost all parents do. And that's good that you're being proactive. You're providing strategies for him, trying to help him in and outside of the classroom.
Right.
And even providing the teacher with instruction, like some strategies as well to help Andy.
Exactly.
Well, that's good. So, this brings me to my question, Miss Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Martin, excuse me.
That's okay.
So, if you choose to partake on this consultation relationship, so I'm going to explain a little bit what consultation is,
Okay.
the steps we'll be taking, and even more specifically, the type of consultation that we're going to be focusing on is Adlerian. So let me start off by telling you what consultation is.
Okay.
So, I'm the consultant, as you know.
Right.
So I'm providing an indirect service, meaning I won't be working directly with Andy. I may do go in for FBAs, which I will explain that later on as we go on. So that means I'll just be going into the classroom and maybe observing his behavior. But I won't be working with him necessarily one-on-one.
Do you mind if I take a little bit of notes so I can keep track of what we're discussing?
Oh yes, please do.
Thank you.
And even in the future too, I'll be taking a little bit of notes. I was going to ask you the same thing.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, and that brings me to my next point. This is an equal partnership. So it's give and take.
Okay.
So, you're taking in information, I'm taking in information, I'm writing down what you tell me, you're writing down what I'm telling you, and we're working together in order to help Andy. So, with me providing indirect service, I'm helping you to help Andy.
Okay.
So, understand how consultation works?
So in order to better help Andy, it's we're going to take the information I give you and you're going to give me information, and we put that together to try to help Andy with his problem.
Yep. And then, you'll just be implementing with them.
Okay.
Okay. And then the next thing, too, is Adlerian consultation. I'm just going to mention that briefly. So that is preventing mental health issues through encouragement.
Okay.
So that's what Adlerian consultation is. And so another thing to discuss with consultation, we're going to be using the problem solving process. So the first step is contracting. So that's what we're doing right now.
Okay.
I'm informing you of the process, what's going on. Also, we're going to, get the collaborative nature in it, and also just try to gain a sense of agreement.
Okay.
So, the second step is problem identification. So that's when we're going to make your observations more specific and, observable.
Okay.
Also, prioritize and even create some goals as well. The next step is intervention design. So that's when we're going to see when the behavior occurs, what's going on, how often it is, and also like the conditions and who's all involved in it. Next is the intervention implementation, That's
okay.
when we're implementing the intervention in the classroom. And also it can be helpful at home too as well
Okay.
for you. So what we have planned, the next one is we're going to evaluate the intervention. So that's just, collecting data weekly, usually, setting up, again, the goals. And the next step is the follow-up design. So I can even give you this little handout too as well.
Great, because that's a lot of steps.
Oh yes. Just so you know what we're going through, you can follow along throughout this whole process. So even like the follow-ups, that's what we're gonna revisit the intervention, revise it, redefine it, and also retry. So we will only necessarily retry if the intervention isn't working.
Okay.
But if it's working, we're going to keep on revisiting it.
Okay.
And so, hopefully, at the end of this all, you will gain closure.
That would be great.
Meaning, like, the goal was met, and then, now it'll be the end of our, partnership. But it's all for a great cause, and everything like that. So, do you have any questions about the problem-solving process?
No, I really don't. It's like, long as I have I would appreciate a copy of that so I can track also for myself and to mark things as they occur. That helps me a lot. I'm kind of like a note taker, so I want to just keep track that way.
Understandable.
It's just a lot to take in.
Oh, yeah. But we're going to take it nice and slow.
Okay.
Because with Andy, it's not going to be a quick fix. It is going to take a little time. So, this will be a little bit long term, but it's okay.
So it's not like we have a set time, like, okay, in a month, well, you got to be done.
Nope.
It's like whatever it takes to get them to a point of success and able to cope better in class.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whereas, like, we do want to set a timeline, though, so it's not like we're not continuing.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's going to happen tomorrow.
Exactly. So maybe a month. And, before that, we would already revisit the intervention to see if it's working. So that's within that same month frame.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's like we put another intervention. It may take a little bit longer. But, it won't be left, by itself.
Okay.
Left for death and everything like that. So,
okay.
All right. So, if there's no more questions, brings me to, so do you agree? Like, you want to move forward and, start this consultation relationship?
Yes, I feel this is something that'll be beneficial.
That's great. That is great. So, we discussed the purpose. So, we're still on the contracting stage. Okay. Just so you know where we're at. So, we discussed the purpose, but I want to make sure that we're both on the same page.
Okay.
Would you agree that the purpose is for Andy to decrease his disruptive behavior and have an increase on, completing his work?
Yes.
Okay.
By increases good behavior?
Yeah, well,
yes.
In completing his work.
In completing it, yes.
So you want to increase the behavior, like good behavior as well?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Cool. So, let me just write that down. All right, so we want to increase not only homework completion.
Right. Sometimes I think if that segment is good, then it'd be much better at completing his homework.
I understand.
But how to get him to that process.
Got you. All righty. So, okay, great. So that'll be like the main focus.
Okay.
But we will also go back and discuss the other behaviors that's happening.
Okay.
As well. So, do you have any additional questions?
No, I don't have. I think we covered about everything.
Okay, all righty. Well, how about we meet again? So, I am going to, before that, this is a data-driven type of relationship. So I'm going to provide you with these two handouts.
Okay. Parents get homework too.
Yes, just a little bit,
Okay.
So you're going to write down his behavior. So even you would have to provide this for the teacher too as well. So the next parent-teacher conference that you have one next week, correct?
Yes, I do.
And it's on Monday?
I think so.
Okay. Cool.
I'll have to check my calendar, but I think so.
Alrighty, cool. So with that, you can talk with the teacher, and then 2 weeks from now, so you collect as much data as you need.
Okay.
And you can provide this to the teacher, and then you guys could just check off like his behavior, when it occurs, how long does it occur, everything like that. So does that sound good?
It does, and these forms I'll share with you as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's see.
Can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
Like everything would be marked in here.
Yes.
Okay.
It would be marked in here, so you put the behavior over here.
Okay.
And you can even set it up to another way. You can have another worksheet.
If I figured out maybe that it works another way for me, but long as I have all this information.
Yeah, so like the behavior, when it occurs and how long it occurs.
Okay.
And like how many times throughout the day it occurs too.
Okay.
Is really helpful. And same for the teacher.
Okay.
So, like I said, you will have a week and a half to 2 weeks since your parent-teacher conference is coming up on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's just let me check my calendar.
Okay.
Since we are in my office.
Okay.
So how about you come in, how does May 30th sound?
May 30th. Sure, that should work out.
Okay. Cool. So that is a Wednesday.
Okay.
So I will see you close to 2 weeks from now.
That'll be fine.
All right. Well, great.
Thank you.
I'll see you then.
All right. See you then, and thank you for your time.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for yours.
Thank you. You're welcome.
2 weeks later. Well, hello again, Mrs. Martin.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
A little bit better than 2 weeks ago.
Well, that's great to hear. That's great. And can I please see? I see you got a little data. Oh.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I've been keeping track.
Nice.
Making observations.
Okay. And I see, and this is the teachers?
Yes.
Okay. Great. So it looks like you have like a lot of data.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Thank you.
To see. Okay, so now we're going to go through the data and find out what is specifically causing, the behavioral issues in the classroom.
Okay.
And this is just touch base again because, we haven't met for 2 weeks.
Right.
We want to address the concerns of, to decrease Andy's behavior, but increase his work completion and increase his positive behaviors.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Good.
Increase the good so he can complete his work.
Yep.
Well, help him increase, his work.
Yep. So anything else? Want to provide any more detail about it?
Let's see. I've noticed maybe in the past week or so, he has been doing a little better. I've been trying different things with him. So when I tried the different things, he seemed to react pretty good to it. And a lot of times when he does good, there's certain, I don't give him like payment rewards, but I always encourage him. And he seems more motivated and more focused when he gets at least some positive feedback and not pointed out, if he did something wrong and, in front of people. That seems like that's usually when those temper tantrums or whatnot occur.
Okay.
But I say he's getting better about it.
That's good. And
yes.
So that's great that he likes to be encouraged. So Adlerian consultation will definitely, I feel, be beneficial for Andy.
Okay.
So we're going to get into, so you mentioned before how he gets frustrated.
Oh, yes, what he does.
Yes, well I see that he gets frustrated and like when he can't finish his work and then I see like that's when he starts his temper tantrum.
Exactly.
So what does the temper tantrums look like?
Well, he'll punch in the air, if you can imagine this punch in the air like he's boxing. And to me, I take it as looks like he's trying to punch away his problems. He's frustrated. And he'll raise his voice. And then a lot of times he'll put his hands on the side of his head and just kind of drops his head, shakes it, and then he'll throw his pencil down. And that's usually when his temper tantrum phase is what I say. That's what he usually does.
So you're saying just making sure he punches in the air, shakes his head, throws a pencil. And also, you did mention for our last session, I see it's in your notes as well, that he hits other students. Does this occur with his temper tantrums? Okay.
Especially sometimes if someone speaks out to him, or it's like he'll sometimes lash out at that child.
Okay, so during his temper tantrums, he lashes out at the child?
Sometimes.
The
majority of the times it's like he'll punch in the air, but sometimes he'll lash out at the child also. Okay.
So, that is a lot. That is a lot to take in. So, I also see, and thank you actually did a little extra step I see for me.
Yes, I did.
You track down his behaviors at home, which is very important. So you even put down when he eats, when he goes to bed. I see that he goes to bed a little bit later, like it's various times. Like we have like 9:30, I see 10:30. And I see you put in your notes it's kind of hard to get him up in the morning. So,
right, because it's like I do have a set bedtime, but once his door is closed, sometime I'll hear him. He'll get up, and he's doing stuff in his room. And it's sometimes be a battle, but he'll go back, and then it's like when it's quiet and he thinks no one, I guess, that forgot about him, then he's up, I don't know, playing games, coloring. He loves artwork, or he's doing that kind of thing. So that's why it tends to be the bedtime I marked down when they were later times when he actually was settled in bed and I didn't hear anything else.
Got you. Okay.
So then it does make it when he goes late. It's not a good morning the next day.
Okay. Well,
he's still got to get up the same time. So.
Well, thank you for that information. So when he goes to bed later, sometimes it's hard to get him in bed, you're saying, and then it's like you track down when he's actually you didn't hear a peep. Do you go in his room?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so when he's like sleep.
Oh yeah, it's like I'll listen, once after we got him in bed, and then when I don't hear anything, it's like I'll look and see, and it's like, okay, he settled down, and that's the times that I wrote there.
Okay, cool.
And if you notice, I also wrote the time when he was put to bed or went to bed.
Yep.
And as you see, the majority of the time, it's like 8 o'clock, never later than 8:30. But then as you see, maybe 15, 20 minutes later, there he is up. But if you notice, one night, out of that week, he actually stayed in bed at 8 o'clock. He was gone. And the next morning, it wasn't a bad morning with getting him up.
Wow. That's good. So when it seems like he isn't as restless, is that what you're saying? In the mornings when he goes to sleep, exactly at 8?
It's no problem getting him up. He's, of course, not many kids want to get up and go to school, but it's not such a chore as when he's tired.
Okay. And also, like, how long is this battle in the mornings? And then, like, what are some of his behaviors that you see?
Well, he won't want to get dressed. Then he'll dash off down the hall. And then it's like, okay, once he gets his clothes on, I mean, he dresses himself. But once you get him settled to do that, then a little bit of breakfast. But it's like it's at a faster pace, got to rush because we done spent a lot of time trying to get him together for school.
Mm-hmm.
But 9 times out of 10, we are on time.
Okay.
Even though it might have been a chore, but it's like we're on time. But then again, we done already got that little temper thing going on.
And how long does this take?
To get out the door?
Yes. Like how many extra minutes?
Oh, those mornings cost me about 20, 25 extra minutes.
Okay, so 25 extra minutes.
You're right. Somewhere in there, it varies.
Okay. It sounds like it could be a little bit of a struggle.
Yes. a little bit of a challenge. A little bit of a challenge.
Okay. And so even, like, I see that the teacher, so it's good that you're making these observable, behaviors, because that, it'd be better to measure it. Like, we can't necessarily measure it and track it if we can't observe it. So it's good that you're able to make it concrete. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. I figured it'd help to see what's going on at home, too.
Oh, yeah. For sure. And then also with the teacher's report, excuse me, here on my Yep. With the teacher's report, I can see that is during math, when they have, like, their independent work, she said.
Yes.
And math happens to be in the morning. So, and then also, so would you agree that Andy tends to become restless and frustrated when he stays up late the night before, and he also becomes frustrated when he has to work independently?
Exactly. But there are times when he works independently that he enjoys.
When?
Which is art.
Oh, okay.
I guess maybe that's you get to be creative.
And art
the other thing is more structured.
And I see art right here is after lunch. So
okay.
And after recess, so he probably was able to burn off some energy and get a little recharge.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So that brings me to my next thing. So would you say, and so Andy, he throws temper tantrums, so he hits, sometimes he throws his pencil, he punches in the air during math time, and they're mainly in the mornings. Mm-hmm. And I see the morning that you mentioned where it was easy, the teacher also indicated like, wasn't as bad. And also, you said it takes you 25 extra minutes.
Exactly.
And with his temper tantrums, usually I see there's a duration of 10 minutes. So would you say like they're pretty extreme intensity because it's happening all the time?
Sometimes it varies, or yes. I'd say yes, more than enough. Yes.
Okay. Sounds about right. Okay. So, in the morning, so the goal, we are trying to set that in the morning so this would be like smaller goals. So let me get to the long-term goal.
Okay.
So would you agree that our long-term goal is for Andy to stay calm and complete all his work independently 5 out of 5 days a week?
That would be great. Yes.
Okay. So and also that there will be an increase in his positive behavior. So he won't throw his temper tantrums 5 days
Yes.
out of the week.
Yes.
Okay. So, now, this is the long-term goal. So, this is what we're trying to get to.
Okay.
So, you're saying, currently, according to your data, and the teacher's data, he doesn't complete his work all throughout the week, and also, majority of the week, except for that one day,
Exactly.
he has temper tantrums in the morning.
Exactly.
In math. So, we have to come with, like, even shorter goals. Just a little shorter goals for him. So, what would be your not successful? Like, he wouldn't meet the success rate. So, right now, for his short-term goals, would it be 4 out of 5 days? 3 out of the 5 days? 2 out of 5 days?
Well, short term, we'll say 2. At least 2. For the short term.
So, he's successful. He only does it
Okay,
2
well,
days. 5 days. Sorry.
No. Well, I was thinking short term and build up, but okay, 4 out of 5 days.
I mean, if you agree to,
That's fine. I was just taking baby steps because you said we were taking baby steps, but you mean we can't take that small of steps, right?
Yeah, like we can start off at like maybe at least 3 days.
3, okay. 3, okay.
Is 3, that's a nice middle compromise we could come to.
You know what? No, let's shoot for the stars. 4 out of 5.
Oh, 4 out of 5.
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
Okay, so if Andy completes less than 4 out of 5 days of work during the week, and if he throws so does this 4 out of 5 days goes for his temper tantrums as well?
Yes, that's usually when he completes his work when he's not having one.
Okay. So for right now, if Andy completes less than 4 out of 5 days work, and if he has temper tantrums more than 4, no. If he has temper tantrums more than once that week, he will not meet our set benchmark of successful.
Right.
Okay, so we will make a plot. We will plot his behavior to keep track of it. Okay, so we got our goals set.
Okay.
And then also just our criterion statement. That's just mentioning the goal again. So in math class, working independently. So this daily. And he will stay calm and complete all his work independently. As we mentioned, his long-term goal. So yes, and now we are getting into so typically when we set a goal, hopefully you're not thinking oh yeah, intervention. So typically when we set a goal, people want to get straight into the intervention, straight into the strategy. So which in return, it misses the mark, meaning that it doesn't work. It's going to fall through. The reason it does not work is because people do not look at what their child's trying to accomplish through their behavior. Excuse me. So, according to Alfred Adler, when people misbehave, there's a reason for misbehavior because behavior is purposeful. According to Alfred Adler, he's a famous psychologist.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions about that?
No.
Okay. So I am going to go into the purpose, and here's a little worksheet for you. So we're just gonna
worksheet.
Yeah. So this is just a little handout just for your
FYI
for your information. So what is the purpose of behavior? So there are several goals of misbehavior. So first you have attention. So that's when the child is trying to gain recognition. So they may try recognition. So they may act helpless, They can't do it until someone comes around. Then they got that attention. Something. So you may feel annoyed, or a teacher may feel annoyed during this time if that's their goal. And then the second goal, as you can see, is power. So that's when they entice people with power struggles, and they could be like passive aggressive or demeaning, and that will usually make others around them feel angry. The third is revenge. So they get even by inflicting physical or psychological pain. And that will also make others around them feel like kind of bad, and like they want to get back even with them. And then the last goal is withdrawal. So that's when the child has lack of self-esteem. They don't want to do anything. They don't really interact with others. And, people around them may feel like giving up on them.
Okay.
So we need to figure out which of these goals Andy, is trying to reach. So that would be the reason for his behavior.
Okay.
And again, it's because it's purposeful. There's a purpose behind why.
Right.
And this is what they're trying to get.
Okay.
All right. So, now, on to the next part. So we collected the data. And now we will do a FBA, which stands for Functional Behavioral Assessment. So we will figure out what happens before and after the behavior occurs. So the antecedents and consequences. So the antecedents is what causes consequences afterwards.
Right. Okay.
That's when I will go into the classroom, observe Andy's behavior, see what happens.
Okay.
Before his temper tantrums, while his temper tantrums, and what happens afterwards.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions thus far?
No, I'm following along pretty good. It's like no questions at all.
So, okay. So you're still going to continue to collect data.
Okay.
Still collecting data.
Okay.
So since we discussed the goal, the reasons for misbehaviors, and what is an FBA, you can go out again, collect a little bit more data for me.
Okay.
And, we will schedule another appointment to discuss. And, next time we will be getting into the intervention.
Okay.
So what we're going to do. And then the next week, hopefully we implement the intervention.
Okay.
And then, I'm going to follow up with you.
Okay.
To see how Andy is doing with his intervention.
Okay.
And then hopefully at the end, bringing it back. So right now we're only on step 2. It's okay. It's all right. It's going to take some time.
Okay.
But we are going to get it together.
Hey, that's the goal. Ultimate goal.
Yes. Andy will be fine.
I most certainly hope so.
But okay. So if you don't have any additional questions, let's see. So today is Wednesday. Did we want to stick to Wednesday?
That's fine.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. I appreciate you helping me as well.
No problem.
And I will see you next Wednesday.
Okay, thank you.